Whether it's the NFL, MLB, or NBA, the All-Star Games are the highlights of the season. It's a fun time where fans can get together and cheer on their favorite and best players in the entire league, show off their skills and talent. However, in the past couple years, we've seen a noticeable shift in popularity amongst the All-Star Games. So today, we're going to be answering these two questions. Why are All-Star Games declining in popularity, and what can we do to fix them? Let's talk about the MLB All-Star Game, statistically the most popular All-Star game out of the big four sports. Although interest in baseball and baseball viewership has been increasing over the past couple years, you can't say the same for the All-Star Game. Even though MLB now boasts talents like Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani, it's not translating over to the Midsummer Classic. In 2009, 15 million people watched the All-Star Game. Now in 2022, that number was 7 million. Almost half the people who watched in 2009 don't watch the game anymore. And even though MLB has done a great job expanding through media and technology, we're not seeing the effects of that come All-Star time. I think one of the main reasons is a lack of competition. We saw the AL win about 9 or 10 in a row until the NL actually broke that streak last night. And yes, yesterday's game and the games for the past decade have been close compared to NBA and Pro Bowl All-Star games, but there's just not much scoring. And if you're a casual baseball fan tuning into this All-Star type environment, I think what you want to see is home runs and scoring. So maybe a possibility is implementing juiced balls or something. And also, if you're a fan, you don't want to see a guy off the bench coming and hitting in the 9th inning. And because of how baseball substitutions work, once you get substituted out, you can't come back in. So when your favorite player played about 5 innings, they're gone. Now you have guys who are still all-stars, but they're not the best players in the league playing in the 9th inning. And that's just another thing. And let's say your favorite players are playing in the 9th inning. I think the excitement will be higher and there's going to be more fun and clutch moments that makes these games much closer and not as many pitching battles or pitching duels. Because there's so many starting pitchers and relievers, even the guys pitching the 7, 8, and 9th innings, they're still going to be very good. And I'm not saying the guys who come and hit in that position are bad. It's just compared to the best position players in the league, I don't think they would hold up, leading to the game having less closeness, less excitement, and less clutch moments. Next, we move on to the NBA. I think the MLB is slightly different from both the NBA and NFL in terms of issues in their All-Star game, but the NBA and the NFL are pretty similar. And that similarity is effort. In the past, even about 10 years ago, NBA players in the All-Star game had to try much harder to get a basket because they're playing up against the best basketball players in the world. And the games are competitive, teams had to work harder to get that victory. And even though it was East versus West format, not the new Giannis versus LeBron type thing, the games are still much more fun to watch. The viewership was obviously much higher. And nowadays, we have this LeBron versus Giannis thing where they draft, and I think the draft is a cool idea. But what ends up happening is there's no defense. And every other year, the record of points keeps getting broken. Anthony Davis had 52, Steph Curry had 50, and now Jason Tatum broke it with 55 this past year. And guys are wide open for threes. They're doing some crossovers, getting to the rim, getting dunks. And it's more of just an exhibition match where you just watch the guys freestyle on the court with no defender rather than, okay, let me actually try some crazy things out the bag. But why not have a guy guarding me while I do it to make it harder, make it more fun and entertaining? Because why does it matter when you're doing these moves against practically no one? There's guys who just walk to the rim and get wide open dunks. And I think it is impressive when Steph and Dame start playing from half court, just hit it casually. But I'm talking about the plays where guys are left wide open, completely wide open, no help whatsoever, just a basic three or even a basic dunk or layup. No one goes and puts their hand up. And I know risk of injury was a thing, but LeBron got injured in this year's All-Star game, and this year had zero physical competitiveness at all, and LeBron got injured. So I wouldn't even see injury as a big issue when it comes to the lack of effort in the NBA All-Star games. And lastly, the NFL. A lot of it is going to be similar for what I said for the NBA. And just to reiterate, there's a lack of competitiveness. Guys will be on runs. There's no guy going really hard to trip him up or get that tackle. It's an offense boosted game, which I don't mind. It's just there's practically zero defense played at all. And then they want to turn it into flag football. I understand from an injury perspective why you do that. But flag football, it's not a flag football league. You're the National Football League. We play tackle football. And now you're going to diminish the game you're playing for an All-Star game or Pro Bowl. And even if they played a regular Pro Bowl, tackle football, I would understand it more even if there wasn't as much defense because it's still the sport of football in some way. But now switching to flag football is just a bad idea. I know one year they did Madden, but I'm pretty sure that was because of COVID, but that was even more ridiculous. The NFL has got worse and worse and worse with their All-Star festivities. And another reason is they place it right before the Super Bowl. Let's say you're playing the Super Bowl. Do you really want to play in the Pro Bowl? Obviously not. Like, you're training for the Super Bowl. And so maybe if they did sometime mid-season, players would be more inclined to do it. Or if they did it after the Super Bowl, where everyone's season is fully done, you can go play in the Pro Bowl. And teams and fans are kind of mentally preparing for that Super Bowl. The Pro Bowl kind of becomes an afterthought. It's kind of just, oh, it's on the weekend before the Super Bowl. But maybe, let's say, after or mid-season, I think is a better idea. Everyone kind of just uses that week as an extra bye week. And football anyways is a pretty injury-prone sport. So, get an extra bye week. You actually save guys in terms of injury. And you're not playing too strenuous football. So the guys who do get accepted, it's not that big of a deal injury or health-wise. And then the overall majority of the league gets an extra week break right there. And more people will watch it because it's right in the middle of the year rather than sticking it right behind the Super Bowl on a meaningless weekend. And finally, I'll leave everyone off with this graph, which shows the All-Star Game viewership from 2002 to 2022 for the sports of football, baseball, and basketball. Thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.